Good morning, friends. Today we will understand chapter 10 that is displayed on your screen, The Surgeon by Roald Dahl. The lesson is meant for 11th class students. First, we will see the introduction and then we will try to understand the summary of the lesson. Sandy is as a profound surgeon who is not in the business of money, but upon saving a Saudi Arabian prince, he is offered a diamond worth almost $1 million. He lives with his wife for a weekend and they hide the diamond at a safe place in their house. When they return, they find their house broken in and the diamond missing. Now, the question is, will it ever be found? Dear friends, this is a very interesting story. Robert Sandy is working as a prolific surgeon who is doing his job honestly, who has devoted his self for the profession, working as a surgeon, and he's working as a surgeon not for money, but just for the noble cause to serve the humanity, to serve the people. Once a Saudi Arabian prince who was injured badly in an accident came to him and he first offered him some money, but Robert Sandy denied the money. Then he gave him, on insisting, he gave him as a gift a diamond. On one day, what happened is he and his wife left for the weekend and they hide the diamond at a safe place in their house in a fridge. When they return, they find their house broken in and the diamond missing. Will it ever be found? Now, this is the question. Yeah, we will try to understand it through the summary. Now, what I need your complete concentration on it. Now, students, see the summary that is displayed on your screen in a very lucid and written, without any tough vocabulary. Now, see, this is Robert Sandy was a modest, hard-working man. He worked as a general surgeon in England. He was not at all concerned with fame and riches. Sandy enjoyed his work. Now, here you can understand what type of surgeon he is. He is a great surgeon, not concerned for fame and rich. He's not concerned to become very rich. He's not concerned, people should know him. He is just devoted to his profession. Sandy enjoyed his work. One night, he was the only surgeon available on work on a young man. The patient had been in a car wreck and had sustained massive abdominal injuries. Robert Sandy worked for 3.5 hours to save the man's life. He operated him and he worked for 3.5 hours to save the man's life, to save, the prince's life. By the next day, the patient was showing signs of recovery. He was the prince of Saudi Arabia, and his associates wanted to move him to the hospital with a famous surgeon. They wanted him to move the patient to some famous hospital, to some, so that there are famous surgeon who will look after him. But what did the patient do? Patient said that he wanted to stay with the man who saved his life. Now he wanted to stay with Robert Sandy. 7 weeks later, he met with the prince who offered Sandy some money. But The surgeon, Robert Sandy, refused the money as always. He was not, accepting money at all. Then the prince gifted him a diamond. Sandy, who was quilted into accepting the diamond, was a little bit resistant to accept the diamond, came to know from Harry Gold, a jeweler, that the diamond was worth $500,000 in the trade. Now, that was a costly, diamond, and it worth $500,000 in the trade. The excited surgeon got on his bike and drove straight home to tell his wife Betty. The name of the wife is Betty. Now he got excited, and he is very anxious to tell the entire story to his wife Betty. Now that's why he goes straight to home. Betty was ecstatic. She was very happy. Soon they remembered that they were supposed to spend the weekend at the friend's house. Now they came to know it was already planned that they have to spend the weekend at some friend's house. They couldn't exactly bring the diamond with them because it is priceless, it is very costly. They would be anxious all weekend. So what they did, they decided to freeze the diamond into a piece of ice and leave it in the ice box. Students, try to understand this line, very important line, and here you can understand, where they kept that piece of diamond. They decided to freeze the diamond in a piece of ice in a fridge and leave it in the ice box there. So after they froze the diamond, they packed it up and left for Ranshaw's friend's house. Now they are now confident that they have frozen the diamond. Now it won't go anywhere, it will remain there, right? They packed up their belongings and left for Ranshaw's. After a pleasant weekend, Robert and Betty came back to find their house in ruins. When they returned, they find their house is, smashed, and each and everything is thrown away. The condition of the house is very pathetic. The kitchen was the worst of all. Everything was, disturbed there. There was totally disorder. Chaos was prevailing there. Anarchy was prevailing there. Robert and Betty called the police and told them about the diamond. At the same time, they found that diamond is also missing. They called the police, lodged a complaint, and told them about the diamond. The police looked but could not find it. The next day, two surgeons were operating on a young man who had a piece of something lodged in his intestine. The next day, what they find, two surgeons were operating on a young man to some other hospital who had a piece of something lodged in his intestine. William Haddock, the name of the surgeon, and a nurse looked at the object and realized it was a diamond. They came to know that it is basically the diamond that is lodged in his intestines. They used the glass to test if it really was a diamond. They took at last it to the Harry Gold to get a prize to know whether it is a diamond or not. Harry realized it was Robert's diamond because Robert Sandy had already been there in order to see whether the gift that is given by the prince to Robert Sandy is a diamond. Now Harry realized it was the Robert's diamond and called him. Robert called the police and reached the jeweler's store. Now he called the police and they reached where? At the jeweler's store. William and the nurse were in handcuffs. Both were arrested. The surgeon, William, and the nurse who were operating on the patient and who had taken this, from his intestines and then were on the jeweler's shop. Both were arrested. They explained to Sandy the story of the surgery and removing of the diamond from patient's intestine. Right? When when Sandy came to know all this, Sandy asked the police to release them and asked them to head to the hospital to arrest the recovering thief. The thief was lying there on his bed. Now he asked the police to arrest the thief. The young hooligan, the name of that thief is John Diggs, had evidently made himself a drunk in Sandy's house. And he had swallowed the ice cube in which the diamond was hid, and it straightly, entered into his intestines. Now, this is the entire story. A very interesting story. I believe you have understood it. I am leaving you here. We'll meet you in the next, lesson, in the next class. Till then, goodbye. May God bless you.